to Enlightenment of Change on webtalkradio.net. I'm your host, Connie Whitman. You know that I'm honored to have you join us this week. Now, as you listen to the show, I hope you feel my passion that wherever you are on your journey of change, I know it's hard, right? Or it can be hard if we don't choose it. So I hope as you listen to the show between my guests and I that we inspire you to realize, number one, you're not alone. Change is inevitable, and it's probably easier than you think. Now, to help you on your journey of change, of course, I have a free gift for you. Go to, in the show notes, I have my link to your free communication style assessment, 2 reports. 1, your superpowers and how people perceive you in the world, kind of an important skill to know. And the flip side, you get your blind spot report or your lowest score, which shines a light on the people that you communicate with that maybe your message isn't landing as you hope it does. So again, my free gift to you. I hope it makes your journey of change a little bit easier. Now, my quote for today is by Nicola Yoon, and she says, "For most immigrants, moving to the new country is an act of faith. Even if you heard stories of safety, opportunity, and prosperity, it's still a leap to remove yourself from your own language, people, and country, your own history. What if the stories weren't true? What if you couldn't adapt? And what if you weren't wanted in this new country?" Now, growing up in a very Italian household provided, I think, just a very different perspective for me that many of my friends who grew up in households where their parents were American born, they didn't have. Now, my dad came from Italy. He was an engineer by trade and ultimately had his own business, own engineering firm for decades here in this country. Now, he's always been my idol, and the lessons learned from him are really profound and still serve me today as a business owner for over 2 decades. Now, growing up and having, I think, this very different perspective from my friends and colleagues is why I chose to host 2 podcasts, not 1, but 2. I love sharing other brilliant guest perspective to help you navigate, again, whatever change you're facing, and by helping you expand or gain a new perspective that may be hiding in your blind spots. Now, today, my guest, she's amazing. She's a rock star. Her name is Keadian Russ. Now, Keadian grew up in Jamaica before moving to the United States in 2015 to pursue her American dream. Now, it wasn't easy being an immigrant woman starting in the United States. She encountered things that she had only read about in the storybooks when back home. Now, she's had a difficult time finding well-paying jobs. So she worked as a maid, CNA, which I'm not sure what that is, a nanny, waiter in restaurants, and other roles. Now, she became the CEO, yay, of Clean and Jiffy Cleaning Services and Products, thanks to her never-ending hard work and determination. Please help me welcome my wonderful friends and rock star, Keadian, to the show. So thank you so much for being on.
Well, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Now, I know it, and before we started the show, Keadian shared that she's been working nonstop as a business owner, right? We often do that. She's doing the startup, and she's losing her voice and all these things, all these perils of being a business owner. So we will, if you need to take drinks of water, Keadian, you go for it, okay?
Thank you.
All right. So my first question, obviously, is why did you decide to come to this country?
You know, growing up in Jamaica, the United States is one of the places that you dream of coming. Reason, you're seeing a different light. Things in the United States look different from what it looked back home. So most persons, if not all, had the American dream. If we were to land here, this is what we would do. Oh, things would be so much easier. Things would be so much better, because those are things that we saw on the television. It looks really good. So as a person, as a child growing up, I always wanted to migrate, and not to Canada, not to England. I wanted to go to America because I wanted to live the American dream. The opportunity that was presented because of what we saw was great. It was something that I wanted for myself. So given the opportunity to migrate somewhere, that was my first choice. I chose to migrate to the United States to pursue that dream, that American dream.
You know, it's funny that you say the perspective, right? When my dad, now we're talking many years ago, he's 92. So he came here when he was 20. So what is that, 72 years ago? Yeesh. Well, when he came here, Katie, and he would write, because they didn't have internet, back then, he would write letters to his mom and his sisters that were still over. And one by one, he brought them to this country. He works to save money to bring them over. Typical story, right? The immigrant story. Well, when he would write, they would write letters back, and the aunts and uncles and cousins would say, send us gold, send us diamonds, send us furs. And he would write back and he'd say, I have to work. Like, you don't just get handed these things. But they said, but we heard the roads are paved in gold. That was the saying back then. And this was my dad's response, Keadian, which I think is exactly what you're sharing. He said, the roads are paved in gold. I have to go and dig for it. I have to go and work hard. And he worked construction during the day, and he went to school at night to learn English. And he worked on the weekends jockeying cars. So he worked 7 days a week, 20-hour days. The opportunity was here, but you had to mine it. You had to dig it. Right? You had to go and find the gold in the streets. So it's exactly what you're saying. So think about that 72 years later, and the perspective of the American dream, which is wonderful and it is available, but it's not as easy as the perception, right? So it's funny, 72 years later, that your story is so similar to my dad's.
Yes, because that's exactly, even now that I have lived here, I'll say, because people, people will look and, oh my God, like even back home where they're like, you have money, you're living in America. The fact that you're living in America, it means that you have money. So, you can send me some money because, and I'm like, I have to work, and probably I have to work twice as hard, because yes, you do. And I'm telling you, and for anyone that has the hope of coming here, just know that there is an American dream, but you have to pursue that. It's not here waiting on you or sitting down. You have to make that dream. There is the hope there. There are opportunities, but you are the one you have to take hold of the opportunities that are here. They're not lying on the street. They're not in gold on the roads. they're not in the trees. You have to work for these opportunities, and the work is not easy either. I've experienced things that I've only read about in storybooks. I never knew those things were real.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is, reality is reality. But the dream, you're right, the dream is there. You just have to look for those opportunities. And I agree. I think the United States is an amazing place to live. And it's funny because, my dad had gone back to Italy through the years with my mom, and we were young, so they wouldn't take us. But anyway, my people would say to him, "Are you coming back?" And he would say, "No, I'm an American," which was really just such a nice statement, right? That he knew he could never go back to Italy, seeing the opportunity here. And like I said, working like you, round the clock. What was it like? Can you share with us, what was it like growing up in Jamaica? Like, what is the big drastic difference, would you say?
Well, apart from everyone knowing that Jamaica is a third world country in comparison to a first world country like America, things economically, they're different. There is a wide gap economically between both countries. Now, Jamaica is an island. We feed off countries like this. So just imagine, like, food, education, job-wise, everything we were at, for a time, and even now we were a little bit behind. So we had to constantly be playing catch up. And for me, which I grew up in actually a poor household, it was a lot of struggles because my parents had to work like constantly. My mother did a lot of housekeeping. My stepdad, who is my dad, he did a lot of odd jobs to ensure that he kept food on our table. And I'm telling you, to keep food on the table then was difficult. It was difficult. And because coming here, I've seen those struggles also.
Yes.
So yes, America is a first world country and Jamaica is a third world country. However, the struggles are real across the board.
Yes.
The difference is, for me, I saw a way how I can actually, use the skills that I have to transform myself into a greater person. It
Yes.
is easier for me to do that transformation here than it was for there, because when I work 3 jobs here, I was able to save my money.
Yeah.
Working 3 jobs in Jamaica, you're not able to save that money to actually move into a business coming from a poor background, not a middle class, not a rich, but a poor background.
Yeah.
So it's a lot harder, but it is possible, because I've seen times here when I just migrated here, it was really hard, where I had no money. It was hard for me to even find food, but yet still in people's mind, oh, she's living in America and everything is good. But growing up in Jamaica, it's a lot harder, like even back then, as a poorer person growing there, you don't have like food stamps that you would have here.
Yes.
So
Support.
if your parents, there's no support. So if
Yeah.
your parents don't have money like that, that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like for a person like me, I always knew that I wanted to be great, and I will be great regardless of what it took. I was
Yes.
gonna be great because I had it embedded in me. So even though I know that my background was not, luxurious, I came from a really humble background. As I said, my mother did a lot of housekeeping, and my father, he made shoes, he did traveling, he came he went to Canada, he went to America, he cleaned same way. But I knew that it was not going to be only a dream. I was about to make it a reality. Once that opportunity presented itself to me, I was going to take full advantage of that opportunity and capitalize on it. The opportunity was me migrating here.
Yeah.
That's where it started. Because yes, I migrated here, but it allowed me to do a lot of things. So for persons, there's a lot of immigrants here, and you have to have that mindset that it's not only, oh, I can buy some food now, or it's not only, I can buy pretty clothes now. You have to have a real dream. That's the American dream. The
That's right.
American dream is not just to, come here and to look pretty, or to buy pretty clothes and, show off on people back home, but it's to really live the dream, create something. Because I'm not, immigrants, remember, we did not leave our country or islands with beds. We didn't leave with our stove. We had to come here and start all over again.
Yeah.
So it took a lot of courage.
Yeah.
I remember a day I walked on Jamaica Avenue and I was literally crying, walking on the street with tears running down. I did not know where my next money was coming from.
That's right. That's right.
I
You
didn't
know
know.
what? I'm sorry. I was going to say, you said a couple of things in there, Keadian, that I think are critical. You learned hard work, right? And you weren't afraid. Like you thought, I can do this. I will do this,
No.
and I will be. I'm gonna. Not that you're gonna be better, because you're amazing. You were always amazing, I'm sure, even as a little girl. But you came here with the dream of, I want something better, right? Than what you had there, where you're saying you're working, and then there was no savings. And you thought, I don't mind working hard, but how can I build a life and build a future that hopefully you don't have to work 3 or 4 jobs at a time, right? That's the dream, to work hard, to make money, save, and then eventually not have to work 3 or 4 jobs for the rest of your life. That's part of that dream, right? And I know my dad, that was part of his dream. And here's the other thing. You said not to come here and then say, okay, now I could buy nice clothes. That's not the dream. The dream is to create a better life, right? And at the core, what does that better life mean? And you kept using the word create. And that's where you have the entrepreneurial spirit. And I think growing up in Jamaica, that hard work, finding those jobs, hustling all the time, that's the entrepreneurial spirit. So you were taught that, probably even though your mom and dad maybe didn't even realize, but that's what you learned, that I can make it but I have to do the effort. I have to have the vision. I have to have the dream. I have to put the legwork in. And you are executing that to the nth degree here. Every time I see you, every time we're in meetings together, we belong to an E-Zone group, which we're trying to give back and help small business owners that live in those lower income areas, right? We're trying to rise them up together and offer resources. And Keadian is part of that vision and inspiration as well. Now, here's my next question. So, all right, you came here, you worked cleaning, nanny, and all these other things. Why start your own business? Kudos to you. And I just want to comment one more thing. The word courageous, you use that, and I 100% agree. Your age, coming from a country to this country, and did you know anybody here when you first moved here?
Well, actually, I did. My stepdad lived here. My sister, my younger sister, they had migrated earlier. And just to say, my biological father lived here from forever. But of course,
different story for a different day, right, Keadian? But so here's the thing, though, to leave what you knew and was safe and comfortable, courageous. So I give you, I tip my hat to that. And then deciding to be a business owner, see again that you were taught the entrepreneurial spirit, and there is a little courage in there to take these leaps of faith that you seem to you're jumping off the cliff all the time,
Really?
So why start a business?
Well, I've always wanted to own a cleaning company. Before I left Jamaica, that was one of the things I had planned to do back home. But of course, the finance wasn't there. But in Jamaica, I had my little business. I normally have businesses I've always wanted, because that's how I see myself. So coming here, what I did, and this is what I encourage people to do, figure out what you're good at, figure out what is going to work for you. Know your surrounding, know your people, know what the niche is going to be for you.
Yes.
So when I started work, I did, as you mentioned, nanny, CNA, that's certified nurse aide.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know what that was.
Yes. And I did a lot of things in the nursing field. However, I knew that wasn't for me, but it's good to make $1. I needed those money, but my passion wasn't to get up and to do that. So what I ensured I did was one day when I started, working, getting these money, and I had to work more than one job, I saved. So I did no extra spending. I didn't do the extra nothing. I saved, because I knew the only way I was going to be able to start a business is if I had something planned out.
That's right.
So one day I was doing a housekeeping job at this really, big family. And I remember the lady said to me, they were going on vacation. So she said to me, Kate, because I don't know why they get my name wrong all the time, or they always call me Kate. Kate, I don't think you have a lot of work to do. So I need you to clean my shoes. Take all my shoes and just clean them. And I smiled, because at that moment, I knew that was it. At that moment, I knew I could not anymore. And I'm not, I never shied away from work, because I needed, everything's a stepping stone.
That's right.
I needed to step there so I could step higher. And
That's
so
right.
I did. I came home, I started doing little things. Connie, it was amazing. I bought some bags. So I was like, I bought some bags, I bought some hats, I bought aprons. I was like, I went out and I got them printed. I did my logo. I just started working, because that's me. I just started putting things together. I started doing a lot of research. I researched my area. I wanted to know all the nanny services, the housekeeping services that work here. I wanted to know, okay, so who
Nice.
the cleaning companies in my area, and I researched them. And I was like, okay, it's okay. I researched, I did so in depth. I went, how many people are living in the New York? Oh, 8 point something million people are living in New York. I was like, okay, even if I get point something
Right.
and I got point something, that's a lot of people.
That's right.
I'm 100 people. That's a lot of people for me.
That's right.
Doing work. So I said, it doesn't matter how many companies there are. can you go out and you make your company stand out? And so I did. I started my company. I had my friend, he's still with me, Damani.
I do.
My backbone, and my sister. And the first house we tested on with my sister, because she's a hard nut to crack. She walked around and she touched everything. Okay, you missed a spot. So, we did our first practice run on her home. And, she made sure that, okay, no, you need to make sure the light bulbs are done inside. So we practiced deep cleaning. So when we got our first real job, because she didn't pay me, so that wasn't a real job. So
I love you.
when we got the first real job, we went so hard in, but we undercharged. And guess what? The client, because they were so pleased, they overpaid, like really, 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 really overpaid. Like 3 times overpaid. And I was like, no, thank you. I'm so grateful. And they were like, no,
lovely.
Client, your job is superior to what I've ever had, because we took the time out and we worked. So from there, we started building up clientele, and I just kept on going. But I was still working, but I wasn't working for that family anymore.
Good for you.
Yes, I left and I worked for a doctor. He was amazing.
Now I have another question. So that's how you started the business. Now talk about the shift you made, going, because using the chemicals, right? Because you're cleaning every day. And what was the shift that you started, actually a second business, well, a spin-off business, really, right, of changing the cleaning supplies and creating your own? Talk about that, because that is another, like, how you pivoted based on need. Go ahead, share that, because it's amazing.
What happened was, I'm asthmatic. The man that works with me, he has really bad allergies. So, we're cleaning, so we had to use chemicals. But I know, I am not able, if I spray their bathroom, I had to run out. If we did, because the chemical was so much, and I'm like, no, I cannot use it. But it got worse during the pandemic. When the pandemic came, and furthermore, I was very afraid, because I just saw people dying. I was like, no. And then they told us, listen, you have to sanitize, you have to disinfect, you have to do this. I'm like, what? No. If this pandemic don't kill us, then these chemicals will kill me. Yeah. And I said to him, listen, you know what? Let us just make our own things, because we had started making the own, but not for like for customers. We only did it for our jobs. And then in the pandemic, surprisingly, we had some of our clients that saying, oh, they really didn't want us in their homes, because everybody was like, I didn't want to go in either.
Sure.
But since you're not coming, send us your product, because, they love the scent. They love what it did. So they loved it. And we were like, you know what? I'm not getting as many work as we wanted to get. So why not just really start looking into how we can actually do production of this? So we did all our research. I mean, Connie, you think I'm tired now? I was tired then. Because I cried. I had a lot of teary days when I messed up products on top of batches and I had to throw them out. I had a lot. That cost a lot of money. Yeah. But today I can proudly say we have basically perfected these products, and they are amazing. Now the reviews that we're getting for these products, sometimes they bring tears to my eyes, because I'm like, I'm gonna go my Jamaican. Look upon a little girl, I will come from Jamaica. Come a foreign, come make big product.
Kill me.
I talk to myself, I'm like, no, sir, you really come a foreign, come do this? But that was the intention. My intention was to come here and make a difference. Yeah. I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm taking over. No, I feel good about myself today. Right. And Connie, if I did not create this product, I probably wouldn't have known you. So, there's so many good things that has happened since we have done this. And I've gotten, I told you, Chase has been one of the persons that's behind us. I just got a certification from Chase. I won an award from National Grid, the pitch. And we've been just going.
You're getting noticed.
Yes, Spectrum just gave me some great advertisement space. So people are seeing, because they're hearing how people are reacting to the products. Non-toxic product. You can clean and you don't have to run out your house. You can use it around your kids and it's friendly. And we call it our happy clean, because it's, we're looking for healthy products. So
Yes.
you're happy when you're using it. There's nothing to worry about. And I tell people, what is one of the main things that you use, antibacterial agent? It's simple. It's vinegar. That's our base. Like, we keep it simple, but yet it is great.
And here's the thing. And again, I want to unpack a couple of things you said. First of all, right? Your dream keeps reiterating. That's reality. We start with one vision and one path. COVID hit. Okay, pivot hard. And you thought, well, okay, now I have time, but what do I really want to do? Because people don't want me in their houses. COVID, people were dying 100%. So you thought, the people started loving the product. Can you send it to us so we can clean using your products? So create a product once the need is there and your clients are there and ready to pay for it. That was smart. You didn't say, oh, I'm going to create this product and sell it because I think it's great. You went and used it. The people loved it, because it cleaned, but they loved the smell and they loved that it wasn't toxic. And it was, again, if they had babies around and stuff like that. So the need was there. They wanted to buy your product and you thought, okay, we can manufacture that. Sure. The other thing you did is you didn't just say, well, this is good enough. You did the research. You kept reiterating until you got the right combination so that the cleaning is effective. But again, it's that non-toxic. And the last thing I wanted to say is, I don't know why. And I think it's just because the air we're breathing, the food we're eating, there seems to be contaminants. When I say contaminants, right, it's hormones that they're putting in chicken and beef and, the acid rain because of the climate change and all of the things with the ozone layer. And so our bodies are absorbing these things. We're creating allergies that when I was a kid, I didn't remember kids having a peanut allergy or asthma. It was, but it wasn't a big deal. Now it's commonplace. So your product, I think, not only does the earth need it, the environment, which are environmentally friendly, but humans, we're breathing and we're touching. And during COVID, the number of the alcohol that we were putting on our hands, our bodies were absorbing all of those chemicals. So there's this ripple effect long term that you're trying to remedy as well, came from the need of you and your partner having allergies and asthma. So again, sometimes from need comes there's a quote, from need comes ingenuity. In essence, right? That you had this need, your partner had the need, the clients loved the product. From that need, you were able to create this amazing product that now is literally taking off, and you're getting Chase and these other Spectrum and all of these other big companies to support what you're doing because it's environmentally friendly. It's profitable, right? So you're still making money, but it's also good for humans. And it's to me, that's like the win-win-win, the trifecta formula that we want to always come from. And by the way, you're creating this beautiful business for yourself and living your American dream. Is it hard? Freaking A, yeah. But are you doing it? Yes. And are you getting the recognition and building some momentum? Yes. It's magical, Keadian. And being around you is magical. And I want everybody to hear your story because I think that we're so afraid of taking that leap of faith or leaving something that is comfortable and familiar for the unknown. And here you are rocking it and doing amazing things and getting all of this recognition. And you've only been in this country 7 years, right?
Yes.
Like, what? So you go, girl. I'm really, really proud of you. We have a couple of minutes left. I'm just curious, who are your biggest mentors that kind of helped you become this courageous person on a journey of like, I've got this. You're like a badass. Like, who's your mentor that helped create this, or mentors?
I like that because there's several, and I'm going to start with my in-house first. My Damani, oh my.
I love him.
Yes, he has been my biggest pusher from the start. Then you have my sister. You meet her, you will love her. Oh my God, she's amazing. She'd be like, Nope, I don't think that's perfect. Okay, let's go again. I said, girl, I did my best. That was not your best. Go again. That's my little sister. You
I
don't.
love it. I
Then
love it.
some great people on my journey. I have Jamaican Butts, who's with Chase. I'm telling you, teaching me financial literacy. That's something that I needed to have learned. And you know, they have been behind me. So she's so supportive, and I'm so grateful. I have Dale, which you and I know.
I love
Dale,
Dale.
oh my, Dale, from the minute Dale met me, he thought that you are going to be a star. And he kept on saying he was really inspired by what the creation that I had. And then I have a company. It's so funny. This guy is a Morse International, doing more. He owns a facility company, huge. He's had it for like 20 years. And I met him on the street. I was being a little shy. I wanted to introduce them because I didn't know who he was. I introduced him to my product, and he kept on ordering for his facilities, and he kept on telling people, and he kept on pushing me. And he has even gone to the extreme of even saying, listen, I'm going to give you this amount of money. So put it in the business, grow the business.
Oh,
Listen me.
what a love.
Yes. So these are people believe in me, and that's good because I had put the effort out. So people are like, and that's the American dream also. You'll get that support. Connie, you believe in me because
do.
you know, you've said it to me just talking to me. I'm willing to help you guys to learn sales. Don't think I forgot. We have Andy. You know, these are things that we are very appreciative of. You know, you don't have to do this. I don't have to be on this show, but you saw my dream, and even being here is something that's going to help. Somebody's going to see me. Somebody's going to see the product. Oh, let me give her a try. These are the people that helps along with the American dream. So the dream is not for me alone. The dream is for everybody that wants to dream.
And
You know?
you have to want a dream though, right, Keadian? And you, that's why we had canceled because you were sick a couple of months ago, but I said we have to reschedule. Like, I really wanted you on the show because it is an inspiring story. You are inspiring. You're a delight to hang out with. You have a great sense of humor, and you're such a live wire. And I wanted people to hear your story because we're living in tough times, right? We're in this recession now in 2022. It's the summer of 22. We're recording this for future listeners. It matters. These stories matter because it's hope. It's inspiration, right? It's a roadmap for others to kind of duplicate. And the other thing you said, yes, and I will always help you in sales. You know that I've got you for that. But I'm going to put my sales hat on for a second. You went and you learned about the financial stuff. To be a business owner, it is sales, sure, but you have to be secure at home with your finances, right? Your operations, what you're creating, you have to have safety. All of those things matter, as well as the sales piece, right? Because we do, now that you're building the right infrastructure financially and the product itself, all of those pieces of the puzzle, you're streamlining efforts and all of that, which needs to happen, then the sales effort will come. But you have to make the house strong before we start reaching out. Otherwise, if you grow too fast, what happens is we crumble beneath, and then you serve no one. So I'm thrilled that you remembered that, my offer to you, but also thrilled that you realize the importance of getting your ducks in a row and kind of being organized in how you're approaching things. And you really are. And the last thing I wanted to say before I give your information for everybody and your generous free gift, meeting people along the way. We can't do it alone. Whether you're in business, you work for someone, we can't do it alone. We need people in our orbit to help rise us up when we feel like we can't any longer. Like, I can't. Somebody comes along, like a Dale, or like that gentleman in the facility that cleans the facilities using your stuff and keeps giving you the money towards your business because we believe in you, right? All of these people matter because you matter, and you've reached out and earned the respect to build that community of support, but you earned it. You didn't just go out and say, I expect it. By putting that effort out, the right people show up for you. It's just how the universe works. So thank you for your story. Thank you for being on. Listen, first of all, every one of you needs to use her products. Second of all, I think everybody that's questioning what next steps are for you, please reach out to Keadian. And again, just check her out, follow her, buy her products, reach out to her independently if you have questions. But go to the website. It's cleanandjiffy.com, and clean is with a K. And if you want to email, which you should email her, because the first 3 people that email Keadian directly are going to get, and just share what 3 people, only 3 people, but what are you going to say? You will mail to them actual products. What are the products, Keadian?
Yes, we have this is our new product. It is our coconut and mango. Listen, we took it to the Caribbean. Seriously, it is amazing. We have been getting so many reviews from that one because the scent is just so, it cleans, but the scent. So that's one. We also have our cucumber and mint. That's so refreshing. And of course, our lemon and tea tree. So those are 3 products. We'll be giving each person one of these products. So email us.
So email. So if you want to be the first 3, email
and say which one you'd want.
Yes, exactly. And so email Keadian. It's info@cleanandjiffy.com. Both the website and the email will be in the show notes, so you can easily connect with Keadian. Keadian, you're on social media. What's the best one? Just tell them and then they can find you. But is it
Instagram? I'm good on Instagram. Yeah. And it's the name, it's clean with a K _N _Jiffy. But once you put clean and Jiffy, it will pop up. Yes.
Yeah, especially the K for the clean, KLEAN. And again, I'll put the website and the email in the show notes. Hook up and join the adventure that Keadian is on, and support her. And again, learn from her. That's what this show is all about. Strategies to learn for others that listen, to be inspired and want to take action. But here's the thing, and this is how I end the show every week, Keadian, is it's great to learn your story and be inspired right now and all of these things. But if they do nothing with the information you shared, right, just take one step. Like you created the logo, right? What's the next step? Save money, right? All of these steps and strategies work. They've worked. You're living proof. So information is a beautiful thing. If we do nothing with it, it's simply information. Once we put it into action, holy smokes, that's when the magic starts happening. And you're living proof of that. So again, please follow Keadian, info@cleanandjiffy.com. Check out the website, cleanandjiffy.com. I will put it in the show notes. Keadian, as always, a pleasure seeing you, hanging out with you. You keep rocking, man. You are my badass out there in the New York area. She's East Coaster.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was great.
Always a joy, my friends. And thank you for listening. You've been listening to Enlightenment of Change with me, your host, Connie Whitman, on webtalkradio.net. I wish you an inspired week. Again, what is your American dream? What is your dream, no matter what country that you're tuning in from? What can you do to make that dream a reality? Hopefully, Keadian and my conversation today can help you on your journey of change. I love you all, and we'll see you next week. Have a great one. Thanks.